Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are going over how to bind autopilots and just about any other control within the FENIX A320 for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 inside of Hangar Control. For those who may not be aware, Hangar Control is meant to be an all-in-one application that will handle various tools and configuration aids, all of your mods, tools, profiles, and add-ons and hangars, your applications. You can create profiles to launch all of your different applications with a single click of a button, and of course the big one, control bindings, is what we'll be dealing with here today. If you're interested in a free unrestricted 5-day trial, go on over to overkillsimulations.com, create an account first, then click on the account button and download the latest version of the application. Let's get started with the video. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Alright folks, let's get right into this. We're going to jump into the control bindings, and I'm actually going to show you guys a couple of different things here today because we're going to take advantage of some of the stuff that we have going on. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to bind the autopilot. So you're going to see the commands. But I'm going to show you guys also how to do that by using a condition from another device. We're going to use the Bravo Throttle Quadrant's autopilot selector that's on the far left side of the Bravo. As you guys all know, it has your indicated airspeed, course, heading mode, vertical speed, and altitude. We're going to use that rotary to designate controls onto our knobster. So, I hope you guys like this. Let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial here. So first we're going to head on over to the Bravo, and I'm going to show you guys the control buttons that are going to be prudent to what we're doing today. That's going to be these numbers right here: 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So 17 is indicated airspeed, course, heading, vertical speed, and altitude select. Okay? So we're going to use these. These are already pre-built flags, but I'm going to show you guys just a way to do it. Now, if you're interested in how to create the flags and all of that state, there's a whole nother video on this you can find in the tutorial. We're going to be using just, or in the, on the channel. We're going to be using just button state today. We're going to keep things very, very simple. So now we're going to go back to our knobster. And here is our knobster configuration. You have your outer encoder, your inner encoder, and the push button, and your different configuration options. Okay, so we're going to configure the outer encoder to handle our speed. Okay, and we're going to do these one at a time. I don't need to. I could take advantage of the inner encoder and do more than one, but I'm actually going to show you something else that we're going to do with the inner encoder for each selection. So let's go ahead and get started. So for our encoder configuration here, we need to click on it, and then we go into what type of action do we wish to do. Now, this window is if you only wanted to bind one thing to a device and you didn't want to use any of the conditions. That's not what we're doing today. We want to take advantage of those conditions. So we're going to come down to add condition instead. We're going to go to add condition, and here's where you get to select the different condition types. Flags, that is a library of flags that you can create. We're not going to worry about that today. We're going to keep things simple, like I said. Button state is what we're after, but you can also use a local variable, an LVAR, and a aircraft variable or a SIMVAR. Okay, but again, keeping things simple. Button state, on and off. Is this button pushed? That's all we care about. What device is the button pushed on that we want to pay attention to? Okay, now the device has to be a part of your used to have to be a part of your profile. I have removed that. There's still some changes that we need to make to this, but by the time you guys see this video, these will adjust to show all devices that are hooked up. So now we're going to go to pick what button. Remember I told you guys what buttons we want, but it lights it up for you. 17 is where we're starting, but you guys can see here, if you turn it, it will change. And you can push different buttons, whatever it may be, and they will light up to help you identify which buttons you wish to adjust. So we're going to use button 17 as our toggle today. Now, we can come back down into what do we want it to do? Action type. Well, it's going to be a SimConnect for this particular one. You see that we have the X-Plane controls here now too, but we're going to go for SimConnect. SimConnect is Microsoft Flight Simulator. X-Plane, probably don't need to explain that one. So SimConnect is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Doesn't matter which version. And now we need to find the commands. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that for an aircraft that may not already have it in the library. So what we're going to need to actually do here is we're going to need to go to escape here inside the sim. I got to move these windows out of the way because, of course, I set it on top like a dork. So I'm going to cancel out of this. We'll come back to it in just a minute. Let me get this off the screen. We're going to go to settings. We need to go to advanced options, and we need to turn developer mode on. So we're going to flip that on just like so. Then we're going to do a save and back and just go back into resume. Now our next step here is we're going to go up here to tools up at the top, and you want behaviors. Now there's two windows that will pop up with behaviors. There's this guy right here, and you'll have this one here. This one here, I personally have never found any use for it. This is probably for more advanced users, power users who are smarter than me. So I'm just going to close it. It gets it out of my way, right? But this one we definitely want. Now, here's where this gets really, really cool, but can also be very confusing. You have to really pay attention to what you're seeing here. So we're going to click back in the cockpit. Notice that the top bar turned gray. We click in here, it's blue. Click in the cockpit, you're gray. That's what you want. We're going to mouse over our speed indicator, and we're going to hit Control and G for golf. And then what you're coming over here is you're looking for input events. Now this is where it can stump you if you're not careful. You'll get three different options. FCU speed knob, increase, your decrease. Then you have your another one, speed knob, push, and you have your pull. So this up here is the turning action. Increase to the right, decrease to the left. This is your push function when we push the button, and then bottom here is your down arrow or pull. Okay? And we're going to take advantage of all these. So now how do we use these in Hangar Control? Or really anything for that matter, but we're going to bring Hangar Control back over here. We're going to go back to our knobster. We're going to go back into our configure like we did before. We're going to go back to add condition like we did before. We're going to select our bait and state, check our device, go to our pick our button again, 17, action type. We want a SimConnect event. Now there's a couple of different ways that you guys can do this. Okay, you can either just browse, which I would recommend for this start, and you can go into manage B events, okay, or you can just search for B events. We're going to talk about both those in a second. If I go into B events, okay, what I can do up here is we can see if we have this one. You can actually right click on one of these and copy to clipboard. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to come right over here to Control and hit Control V for Victor. Don't have anything in here. So this is where that Manage B events come in. In Hangar Control, you have the ability to save your own categories, your catalogs of B events and AVARs if the software doesn't already have it. That way you never have to do this again. And as time goes on, I will start focusing on enhancing these lists. Obviously, functionality needs to be there first. So we're going to add an event, and this is very simple. This is the event name. This is what you actually want. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit paste. Okay. And we want to make sure that we have a B colon in front. This identifies the type of event. Under here, you can put whatever you want. These two are totally for you. I'm just going to call this FENIX A320. And we're going to hit save. Now, while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple more. So I'm going to add event. We're going to add the decrease. This will make this whole thing a lot easier. Get that B colon in there. Oops. And paste it. Paste it again. And again. A320. And we can, while we're here, let's get the push and pull. Now, you don't need to use the increase and decrease for the push pull because it automatically sets back. Okay. So I'm just going to grab the increase. Oops. There we go. And we want the same thing for pull. So I'm copying this one down here. Add event. and drop those in. Okay? Now, you can keep going down the line if you want. So let's do the heading too while we're here. Oops. Make sure we click into the sim. Control NG. Make sure we have our heading knob. We do. There it is. And we're going to go right down the line just like we did before. I'm going to do this one a bit faster. Grab that push. Grab the pull. Never forget that B colon. Whoa. Okay, so now we got those two right away. So let's start working with those two now. See how the rest of the process is done. Okay. So remember, right now we are binding the indicated airspeed, right? So what we're looking for here is if we go back just to find what the device was. Speed. And notice that these aren't here. You just got to hit reload. Boom, there they are, right? All right, so now let's go back in and bind our knobster. So, we need to clear those. And we're going to go configure. I didn't hit record all the way through, is why we're starting over, guys. We're going to add a condition. We've already created our conditions, you guys saw that. So button state, what device? The Bravo. Button 17 is our speed button. Action type, sim connect. Get that up a bit higher. Go to browse. Speed in your search box. Variables. Now, if you ever can't see your speed or your new B events, just remember to hit reload. And we want increase. And we're going to hit save and save. Now let's configure the counterclockwise. And we're going to go, nope, add condition because we're going to be using this button more than once. Button state, the Bravo again. 17. Sim connect, browse. Our speed again, it's already highlighted, so we can just come right here and go to decrease. And we're just going to save, save again, save again. And we will fix that. That's just a UI bug. That'll probably be gone by the time you guys see this video. All right, so now if we turn our knob to the clockwise, and if we turn it counterclockwise, there we go. All right, now let me show you what I'm going to do with the push-pull that we were talking about. And this process works for all of these guys. It's the same thing as long as you have the right variable. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our knobster, and let's talk about the push-pull. So we're going to use the inner encoder for that. And I'm going to do add condition again. Same thing as before. The button state, still want, while we're on the same IAS, or indicated airspeed. Go to our sim connect, go to browse. Keep the speed on. Let's narrow this back down to B events. And we want our push-pull. So which way do you want it to go, right? So if I turn it to the right, it's going to push it. If I turn it to the left, it's going to pull it. That's how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do push, hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to save. And now for the counterclockwise, I'm going to do the same thing. And we're going to do add condition. We're going to go button 17. Just like before, sim connect, browse. And we're going to find the pull. And just to give you guys, in case this is still there, what this is this means that a standard event is not configured. The conditions are. Okay? That's why you have the 2 parenthesis break. I may actually leave that. We'll see. And then you also have the option for the push button. But we're just going to go save. And so now watch. Let me zoom in real quick here. If I turn the inner encoder to the right, there's the push. If I turn it to the left, there's the pull. Okay, so real slick way to do this, right? Makes it real easy. Okay, so that was a very fast way to do this. Let's knock out the other 3, and we're going to do this quite a bit faster this time around. So now here we go, going to Knobster. We're going to go back into add a condition. Now it's time to add a new condition. And we're going to go to button state, and now it's time to move forward. Now, we're only going to be interested for our autopilot settings today in the heading, in our vertical speed, and altitude target vertical speed. I'm not going to worry about the course line because that's a whole different ballgame, and everybody can set that up a little bit differently. You're going to be using that different depending on how you're operating the aircraft. So let's go ahead and get after it. So again, the button state. This time we're going to want, I believe this is 19, so that's course. We're going to go to 19 for your heading. Sim Connect. Browse. Now we're going to go with heading, and you can already see it. Heading increase, hit OK, and save. Okay. Now, while we're here, we're going to drop in the other 2. Okay. Going to make this real simple, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this faster. Add condition. Button state, pick. We're going to bump it up 1 because now we're going to work on the vertical speed. So we're going to go to 20. And we're going to, what am I looking for? Sim Connect. Now we don't have this one yet, so keep that in mind. So in this case, we're going to go back to our tools, go back to our behaviors, or knock that out over here, and Control G again. And here you can see it once again. There you go. You guys can see everything. Good. We're going to manage the B events. And we're going to add event. Altitude knob increase. Clipboard. Remember our B colon. Add event, copy the decrease. Okay. You have the push, you have the pull. Okay, let's get those in there. B colon. And what you could actually do, I mean, if you really want to even be faster, if you get tired of the mouse click, you know, once you have one, you have them both, right? But in our case, we have push and we have pull. So I actually changed the wrong thing. So we're going to put this back to increase. We can come back over here and just change this to now pull. Oops. Keep everything exactly as you see it. It doesn't always matter, but I like to operate on the assumption that it does. So we can Control C that, Control V that, Control all. Oops. FENIX A320. Enter. That should be everything for the altitude target. Last set is our vertical speed. So now we can see we're in the FC or vertical speed section. And again, going to go a bit faster, and I'm going to use that same methodology here. Oh, so we have the increase. Ah! All right, so now we are working on our altitude target. Or no, it's going to be vertical speed if you go by the order of the Bravo. So let's do our vertical speed. And that was, let's just do this. B events, sort, and we can find them all right here. All right, so vertical speed knob increase. There it is right there. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to save. Now we're going to add condition, button state, pick. It's going to be 21 for the altitude. Sim connect, browse. Altitude knob increase. And we're going to save. Okay? And then now we're going to come back in here and add all of our decreases. So add condition, button state, pick, and we're going to go to 19 because we want that heading, right? We're going to go to Sim Connect again, browse, B event. There's our heading decrease right there. Hit OK and save. Add condition, button state, Bravo. This is going to be Bravo 20. And we're going to look for vertical speed on this one. Sim Connect, browse. Vertical speed knob, decrease. Hit save. Add condition. And the last one here we're going to do is 21. And Sim Connect, browse. And this time we find our altitude. Altitude knob decrease. And we should be able to test. So, we know that our speed is working. Let's check that heading knob. Let's check that vertical speed. And our altitude target. All right, so the last piece I want to show you guys is especially kind of in the mix of, I don't know what the hell I'm going. Anyway, with the FENIX A320 or with an Airbus specifically is what I was trying to say, is you have the altitude selector, the scale selector, so 100 to 1000, right? So I'm going to show you guys something real quick that I would like to do with mine. So I'm going to take my Knobster here, and we're going to go to just a press action. I'm going to configure, and we still want our condition, button state, on the Bravo, when 21 is selected, so when we're in altitude mode, Sim Connect event, browse. And this one is actually an LVAR. And I'll show you guys a really cool tool because I know a lot of people still have troubles finding LVARs and things like that. So you can see that I actually had already found one for something else. But let me show you guys this. If you mouse over it, so let's just click on it to make sure we're on it. Control G again. Let me do this. If you guys expand the mouse interact, right there, that's your LVAR. So L:(S) FCU altitude scale, right? And then each one has a variable. So you're going to have 1 or 0 in this particular situation. 0 is going to probably be 100, 1 is going to be 1,000, etc. But I thought I would show you guys, that's your LVAR. And this goes for anything. If you're looking for master battery or master APU or whatever it may be. I had an APU question earlier today that popped up. There's your LVARs right there. Okay? Anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. Thought you'd find that useful. So anyway, let's close this. We're done with that. We don't care about that. So we're going to come here, and I'm going to search for scale. You guys can see I'm already on it because I was playing around with it. So there's our scale. We're going to double-click it. And because we're just using a push button, we want to toggle. So I'm just going to toggle it. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit save again. I'm going to hit save again. I'm going to hit save one more time. And now, so we adjust our altitude. Do-do-do. And then if I push our push button on the Knobster, oh, watch out. And push it again and back and forth. But now if I switch my mode out of altitude, okay, there's our vertical speed. Pushing the button, which I'm doing right now. You guys can't see it, but I'm pushing the button. I'm clicky. Doesn't do anything. So another really cool way to do that. So I hope this video was helpful in numerous ways. I hope at the very least it gave you guys the information you're looking for in regard to binding the FENIX Autopilot panel, or the FCU. But you can use all of these methods in so many different ways, guys. And I hope, once again, this continues to enhance your flight sim experience. If you're interested in trying out Hangar Control, overkillsimulations.com. Be sure to create your account first, then click the account button at the top of the page, then download the latest version of the software for a free, unrestricted 5-day trial of the software. It is expanding rapidly every single week. We have new updates coming out that are just making it bigger and better every single week. So, as always, guys, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.